After the Native American Graves Protection Act was passed in 1990, more commonly known as NAGPRA, museums and educational institutions nationwide began the extremely unprioritized, unenforced, and slow process of repatriating the remains and culturally significant Native American items in their possession. 33 years later, due to the painfully laid-back process of repatriation, an updated NAGPRA was passed in December of 2023. This mandated that artifacts and remains yet to be repatriated must not be put on display without the explicit consent of the tribe the exhibition belongs to. The Hearst Museum of Anthropology, located on Berkeley campus, stated in 2021, staff and leadership at the Hearst Museum developed a new strategic plan to guide the organization's future. As part of this process, the Hearst recognized a need to prioritize repatriation under NAGPRA and other laws and policies, as well as to build up and repair relationships with Native communities. However, 3 years after the fact, the Berkeley community has heard minimal updates, and the question of what is taking them so long remains unanswered. Approximately 12,000 Native American remains and an additional 400,000 culturally significant artifacts sit in the shelves of Berkeley's gym basement. The majority of them were collected in the early 1960s by archaeologists associated with Cal, and have been kept under the swimming pool for half a century at Hearst. It is now estimated that since repatriation efforts began in 1990, UC Berkeley has given back about 20% of its collection, leaving 9,000 remains in storage. This repatriation process is by far the slowest among all universities in the U.S., which is ironic considering the number of remains and artifacts Berkeley holds blows most other institutions out of the water. One would expect an establishment with the fifth most remains nationwide would respond with more funding and prioritization to NAGPRA, especially considering that Berkeley was one of the first schools to implement a Native American Studies major program, but evidently that has not been the case. In a 2023 NBC Bay Area News article, they stated that according to internal audit documents obtained through a public records request, it shows that Berkeley estimates that it will take 10 more years to completely repatriate its collection, and it will cost $1.5 million annually. However, the NAGPRA team at Cal has received only 31% of that funding from the Chancellor's allocations. The delay in fulfilling NAGPRA's demands in California is not just a UC problem. The California State University system is also lagging behind. In a 2023 state audit, they collected data on how much of each institution's collection has been reviewed, the first step in repatriating them, and the results were an overwhelming disappointment. As seen in this graph, less than half of all California state universities have fully reviewed the remains and artifacts that they have in their possession, and it is estimated that across the university system, 698,200 bones and artifacts are held without tribal consent.